We're back on Morning Movers. Meta Platforms trading 4% below Monday's all-time highs, a little higher in the pre-market today. Needham getting a little less bearish on the name, upgrading the stock to a hold from underperform. This is what it says. Its channel checks driving upside to its estimates, but the analyst writes they'll stay on the sidelines with the hold rating because they believe Meta's strategy, quote, wastes capital and adds risk. Keep in mind, shares of Meta up 40% over the past 12 months. Time now for Options Corner. Joining us to take a deeper look at Meta is Rick Ducat, lead market technician. All right, Rick, let's talk about this chart for Meta. I mean, look, it's been an outperformer versus the S&P 500 and outperformer versus the Mag 7. What do you notice?
Yeah, exactly. That's what this chart is showing specifically. Meta up about 40% during the past 52 weeks versus the S&P up about 12.5%. You can see they're very tightly correlated, though, because Meta is such a large part of the index. So watch for any divergences for potential trading opportunities with that correlation here. Now we can see, if we were to look at our candle chart here, that Meta tested its old high point here near about 740, 741. We made some intraday highs beyond that point, but could not quite make a higher close. Now price has retreated within these boundaries here between this rising wedge type shape between our two white dashed lines there. So we can also see the 705 level, our red line here, marked some high points and then another ceiling here later on. That could be a point to watch out for a potential retest. It also lines up pretty closely with our yellow 21-day exponential moving average and our trend line and our support line there. So we've got a bit of a confluence to look out for. We are seeing a little bit of a divergence here, bearish divergence in the RSI, with momentum declining as price continued to make higher closes. Not exactly what the bulls would want to see.
Okay, so not what the bulls would want to see, but now where do you go from here? How would you set up an example trade for Meta? Rick?
Well, you know, one idea you could do, we've got a bullish analyst note today. So a neutral to bullish play, you could sell a cash secured put in this name here. And the reason that I was looking at for a potential example trade here was around that 660 strike. And the reasoning for that is, you see this expected move here, this shaded area. The break even for this trade would be beyond that expected move. We would need a bigger than expected move just to hit that area. The break even coming in at about 657.80 if we were to sell one share of that, or one contract rather, of that July 18th 660 cash secured put at a 220 credit there. So big difference between cash secured put and a naked put. Cash secured put would be you have enough cash to buy the 100 shares of stock if you were assigned. So keep that in mind there. I realize maybe not everyone could want to buy 100 shares of Meta. It's kind of an expensive stock there. You could add an accompanying long put below that strike price to make it into a vertical here. It would be a very high probability trade during a short time based on this information here. Never a sure thing in trading, of course, but this would be something that, as I said, would need a larger than expected move to get to that break even, which is about 8.5% to the downside there. So remember, though, this would have large risk if it doesn't have that accompanying vertical put option there here. So keep that in mind.
All right. Thank you, Rick. That's Rick Ducat, our lead market technician, with an example trade on Meta.